Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and not friendly, pissed off referee, Zax Pearson, because another goddamn Fire Emblem character got put in Smash Brothers. And today I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, who hasn't been seen in a while on the podcast because he was too busy trying to infiltrate Nintendo, so they didn't make a horrible mistake like putting more Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros. A one Xeno 120.
Hello. Hello and hello.
And of course, I'm joined by the Wakandan ambassador to the United States military, who openly led a campaign against Nintendo, putting more motherfucking Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros. A one Michael Dat Hill.
Welcome to the new age.
Damn, that's actually pretty good. I might steal that one day. Then again, I always do the intro, so I kind of can't. Shit. Alright, so today's topics are not dealing with the fact that Nintendo put another goddamn Fire Emblem character in Smash Bros. And the video has over 66,000 dislikes.
That's funny, honestly.
I mean, one of the YouTubers I watched kind of put it correct. I think he said it well. Like he said, the fact that the last character was a Fire Emblem character probably was what tipped it over the edge. Like if they would have made Violet like maybe the second or third person, then it probably wouldn't have got as much hate as it did. I kind of agree with that. But yeah.
Okay, that's nice. It's still a lie because there's too many of them. So now Fire Emblem alone can have an 8-player Smash by itself. Start counting. There's 8 of them motherfuckers. Topic 1. Marvel has indirectly confirmed continued usage of Robert Downey Jr. However, as it currently stands, the plan seems to be for projects unrelated to the cinematic universe, which limits his appearances to their streaming services and various television shows on or off that platform. Where would you like to see the I Love You 3000 himself show up next? Topic 2. Gaming news, of course. Continuing the trend of leaks being confirmed at a later date, the current one is that Sony will be revealing information and details on the new PlayStation 5 in February, as well as the fact of the system starting at 500 USD. Jesus Christ. Hypothetically, if this is true, do you believe that price point is too much? Why or why not? Topic 3. Joker sequel. It's been confirmed to be going into production, but based on the fact that this is a world where there is no Batman, or at least Batman yet, what or who do you guys think will be the villain if there even is one for this sequel? Or rather, how do you think this sequel will play out? Topic 4. What actor do you feel is or has been underappreciated and underutilized? We will say in the past decade. Reminder, the decade is not over until next year, but I'm including this year as well. So, yeah, moot point. Now, topic 5, which we rarely get to a fifth. As we all know, E3 attendance is very unusual. However, we've all been hearing for 3 to 4 years straight, their internal management is the only thing holding them back. With that being said, do you think that Sony leaving 2020 E3 and making that announcement this early in the year is because Sony is not prepared for E3? Or is it simply because they cannot reach deals and arguments have happened with the staff at E3, which have been rumored for about a week? Also, do you think E3 is dead if they don't change the management, or can they bounce back like in previous years? Now, who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
Okay, start us off.
Alright, so topic 1. I honestly can't really see Robert Downey Jr. in any other form of the Marvel thing because he was so iconic as Iron Man, as the Iron Avenger, the guy who helped build up the Avengers as a whole, gathering everybody, and then also simultaneously breaking it down, but then building back up again. It's just like a love-hate relationship for him in that role. And then trying to pull what they did with Coulson for like what they did with, I can't remember what that fuck was, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That shit honestly pissed me off because he's like, even though Coulson had a semi-big role, but he managed to play it off for fucking Agents of Shield, but trying to get somebody as bigger as Iron Man, who's been in 3 if single movies, and then 2 of the Avengers movies, also in Civil War, trying to downplay him is something that I feel like backfiring on him because again, him as a character is fucking dead, and you can't fucking try to bullshit that he's fucking dead. Just let the man die. Number 2, holding out for the $500 PS5. It doesn't seem far off from what their prices usually are. Because it's like they go up like $100 or so every time they make a new console. Because I remember the PS2 was fucking $300 when I was talking to my dad. And then it went up to $400 for the PS4. And then they made each other sequential PS4, PS4, PS4 Pro, PS4 Slim, all the other bullshit. So saying it's $500 is actually pretty fair, considering that Sony itself wants to be like, yo, let me get all that fucking money. All right, so I haven't seen the Joker one, so I wouldn't know. I don't know how the movie itself played out or how it.
Man, go see that movie. That is a work of cinematic genius. That's all I'm gonna say.
Facts.
So from the trailers and all the other fucking memes I've seen, it's just the man downplaying into chaos. So I don't know how he builds that up more. Will it show him building the Joker gang, where he makes his smile gas, where he just goes completely insane and actually starts going to be the crazy funny man? I don't know. I really don't know if he's gonna go for the crown Prince of Darkness again, or if he's gonna go just off the wall. I wouldn't know. But if they are going to do a sequel based off him building up, I'd just say continue that and then show how he makes the Joker gang and running rampant, and then maybe do the whole, oh, Batman's here finally, oh shit, type deal. Okay. A downplayed actor for the decade. I don't know. Hard to say. Underrated, used in the same
You can also
way.
do who you feel is underutilized.
Underutilized? Will Ferrell.
Interesting.
Wonder if he can do more than be classic, funny man. And probably Vin Diesel too. Have him more and less of a fucking action role. And I just really just want to see actors like switched around a bit. Like Vin Diesel, man, because like only things going in for the Fast and Furious movies, and those are fucking tanking big fast. Because from going from just simple street racing to fucking we gotta help the government fight the fucking terrorists, it's just like, but why though? The Rock's doing pretty good because he knows how to expand from serious to funny all over and over again. And then the Sony not appearing in the E3. I just feel like they don't really have much to put out or stuff worth putting out because they already put everything at the fucking end of the video game awards. Oh, we're going on with the PS5 and all the new shit coming out. So everything that could possibly be hyped up has already been spilled for the hype. I wouldn't really say E3 is dead, but it is dying considering that Nintendo has its own Nintendo Direct, which shows off its up-and-coming game trilogies. And even within Nintendo, there's the Smash and Pokemon Direct, which everybody's hyped for. Xbox just shows out a new fucking car for whatever reason. All you hear is fucking Halo and Forza again. Beat off to it. I'm like, fuck out of here. And then Sony doesn't do anything. And then Bethesda says, hey, here's Skyrim for the 25th time. Buy it again. Because I know you will. So I wouldn't say it's dead, but it's for sure dying because nobody's coming up with anything new. and they're just smoking the crack that is making sequels over and over again.
I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, I feel like if there was a Skyrim person in Smash Bros, I would feel like it was out of place, but it would still work, and I would play that character. But no, they put in a Fire Emblem motherfucker.
I'd play him if he could clip up through the walls, like he does in his.
I'll play him if Fusro Da isn't just a final smash. Like, I can manually control that shit. Did you go through all the topics? Until I do topic 5, bro.
That was topic
4. You're on 5.
No, that was all of them. Because, yeah, topic 5 is E3, and then 4
Okay.
was
All
active.
right. Okay, Corey, you're next because you're late. Oh, and for those of you wondering who that is, Corey of House Troy leads the army in the kingdom of fuck Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros. So he is a well-entrusted consort of this group of people.
Yeah. Yep. I don't care about Byleth inclusion in
Shut the
Smash.
fuck up. Yes, you do.
Okay, so for topic 1, I thought RDJ said that he doesn't know if he's coming back recently. Like in one of I think it was like Joe Rogan's interview or something that he said he doesn't know where they would go with the character now, or he doesn't even know if he's in Black Widow apparently. So I don't know if Marvel is actually going to continue using RDJ, but I don't know. Topic 2. You're asking, is $500 a reasonable price for a console? Is that what your question is?
Do you believe the price point or not? Is it too much or too little?
I don't think it's a terrible price because you're getting a lot for $500 if the backwards compatibility is there. If the PS4 is backwards compatible with PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, and it I don't know what the stupid phrasing of teraflops, I don't think it's a bad price point per se. Topic 3. When was the Joker sequel confirmed?
About 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay. If there's a villain and they're not going much further in time, I guess they could introduce Gordon, the detective, as a villain somehow. I don't know how that would work. I mean, Joker really didn't have a villain per se. It was just more like society.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Like, the way the movie was framed, the villain was humanity itself and how they perceived and treated someone with a medical condition.
I don't know where they could go with it. I mean, I think it's just better off as one movie. I don't think they need to make a sequel.
It's Warner Brothers. They don't make good decisions unless it's animated. It's Warner Brothers. They don't make good decisions unless it's animated.
True. Topic 4? I can't think of an actor that has gone underappreciated in the past decade. So I'm just going to skip on to topic 5. I think Sony is just skipping E3 because, well, I think they think E3 is dead. Oh, whoops. Because I think they think E3 is dead.
Why does it sound
And plus, they can make their own
piece of
event.
metal and somehow get way better audio quality?
I just noticed that my microphone was at a different angle, and I went, shit. Crap. The way the microphones work.
That's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah, no, Sony can make their own. Well, they used to do the PlayStation experience. I mean, they do their own shows, so I don't think they really need E3 to do their console anymore. So, yeah, I could see that's why they're skipping E3, to be quite honest. So.
Okay. I'm gonna go next. Oh wait,
I wanted to go.
What?
I was ready.
Okay.
It's
okay,
fine.
go
I'll
ahead.
go last.
No, you can go.
All right. So for topic 1, so as far as that goes, I can see them like if okay, I don't see him being like casted like as far as him actually being in it, but like playing like a crucial role. But if they do, right, hear me out. So it could be. I'm thinking of 2 options, right? You know how they had the videos with Captain America? It's like, oh, hey, I'm Captain America, and blah blah blah. They could like put him in some of those, in some way, shape, or form, or they could just make it to where how it was in Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie, Across the World or whatever it was called, and they make it to where he just got a bunch of holograms and video. Yeah, Far From Home. My bad. Yeah, that's what it was. All right, they could just make it where he has a bunch of hologram videos or videos. Yeah, like the holograms and stuff, where he just has his like maybe like a diary or some sort or something like that, or maybe he did some type of research and he was like looking at future events or something like that, and they could like put him in there. And then those are the only 2 ways I can see him even being there as far as him acting. Everything else is probably just behind the scenes type stuff. Maybe some Easter eggs, I don't know, a poster in the background or something. But I don't see him actually being like a crucial role, like something you see and you go, ha, this is Iron Man. All right. Okay. So as far as the PlayStation 5 being $500,
You need to denote when you switch topics, bro.
all right, topic 2. As far as the PlayStation being $500, if it has everything it says it's supposed to have, like upgraded everything, like backwards compatibility, different things of that nature, I can see that as a reasonable price point. Because I mean, how much did the PlayStation Pro start off as? Like 400 or 500 or something?
Why do we keep acting like the Pro is the initial versions? The PlayStation 4 Pro started off as 400. Technically, I think it still is, or it only went down by like 50 bones.
Okay, well, I mean, like reasonably, them going up to 500 makes a lot more sense considering like they're upgrading the hardware and stuff. So, to me, from the 4, like then the 4 Pro to a 5, that's not terrible. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, it makes sense. All right, topic 3. I didn't know that they said that they were gonna make a Joker sequel, but if they did, they would. I think it would have to do. If anything, they would have to like clean up some of the movie, because you know how they say this isn't really a spoiler because they said this before the movie came out. All right, they said that you're gonna have to kind of decipher the movie as far as like events and stuff like that. They probably would like clean up a lot of that information, and then the only thing I can see is them like introducing like more characters that's not Batman, who are like, okay, say for instance Batman is like 25 or something and the Joker's 40, like that's a 20-year gap, you feel me? 25, 45, whatever, that's like a 15-year gap. Like there were people who were there before, you know, Batman became Batman, so they probably just try to tell something along the lines of that. But I can't really see them really like making more out of the first one. It's kind of, everything was kind of cut and paste for the moment. All right, topic 4. All right, it's a comedian who's actually on Saturday Night Live. His name is Chris Red. I think he's fucking hilarious, and he does. I just don't think he gets the recognition he deserves. Look him up, Chris Red, Redd. Some of his stand-ups, no matter of fact, all the ones I seen were fucking hilarious. And personally, I think he was actually on a show on Netflix called Disjointed. I haven't watched that yet, but anyway, I think that he deserves more recognition. That's all I'm saying. He could be in a lot of like comedies and stuff like that. And as far as topic 5, Sony being in E3, Sony barely wants cross-platform play. So them skipping out on this is just like, I don't know, it's just another Sony move in my opinion. Like it is what it is. You know, at this point, they probably figure they don't need to do this because they're like Top Gun right now. So it's just like, why do we need to go there when everybody's already over here? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, that was it. That's all I had to say.
Okay, now, if you will, Corey, with or without a special voice, unfortunately, Officer 9001 couldn't be with us here today because some reason that I don't remember. So if you'd be so kind as to go and read off his responses to all the topics, that would be appreciated.
Like a cowboy, or whatever.
Whichever voice you want to do, I'm cool with either or.
Okay, I'm just gonna read it like normal.
It's in the texting page.
I see. I was just moving around my mic. So RDJ is back for more Marvel stuff, eh? Makes me wonder if the life model decoy joke will no longer be a joke. It'll be nice to see him again, but I don't really know what I prefer to see him in, to be honest. It would have to be something set before Infinity War, obviously, but as for what, I'm unsure. I just want to see more of him. Topic 2. I think $500 is perfectly reasonable for PS5. I was expecting $600 to be honest. I know all consoles are sold at a loss, but only 500. It seems they're only holding back. Topic 3. Here I thought it was gonna be a one-off thing. Guess not. As far as I see it, a Joker without Batman is not the Joker. In my opinion, it is necessary for there to be some kind of force of order to counteract the Joker's chaos. It's the only way I can enjoy him as a character. As for a villain, I don't think there will be.
Hello?
Yeah?
Oh, no. You just cut out kind of weird.
Oh, okay. Topic 4. Off the top of my head, I can't think of Anthony Hopkins. His most notable role in the last decade that I can recall, other than Thor 2 and 3, is in the Bayformers movies. I know he's old, but he deserves better than that. Topic 5. I think Sony didn't get the deal they wanted. They know full well that the next E3 is going to be a shaky one based on public reaction of E3's previous announcements. So they go and publicly announce this to put pressure on E3 to get a better deal. Either that, or they can predict E3 going down like a sinking ship and are bailing early to avoid any wasted resources. As for E3 itself, yeah, it's fucked without a change of management.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Now,
No problem.
for me, topic 1. Well, I mean, they killed him off, but I wanted a Robert Downey Jr. action show with Iron Man, but, you know, I didn't really want Iron Man to be the star, which could be the linchpin of the entire series. It's Iron Man as he reacts to misadventures with various members of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it could even be utilized better than the movies to foreshadow future events. Like, he starts studying Wanda's DNA. Or it turns out Wanda finds out he was studying bits and pieces of Silver Surfer's DNA. Silver Surfer, wow. Quicksilver's DNA, which is Wanda's brother, Pietro. And she loses her shit. And, you know, his whole reasoning is because, hey, I was going to use it for the greater good, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, he ends up at least finding out at a base level that he was more than human, foreshadowing mutants. And then, you know, at the end of the series, when all the Avengers are about to fight, Professor Xavier shows up, mind wipes everybody, and deletes or destroys the data, and leaves, and everybody just mentally starts having fun, or they just decide they're going to go eat at a restaurant. And then no one realizes until the movies happen that, oh shit, that was Professor Xavier. There was so many ways to utilize him continuously. But to be fair, remember, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. never wanted to even extend their contracts. Their contracts literally went past everything that happened in Infinity War and Endgame. They had to have a contract extension. You know? So that's what I wanted. But realistically, what they're probably going to do is, it's been heavily hinted at that they're just going to use his voice or his likeness and his voice in some of the Marvel shows that they have coming out, where he randomly makes a cameo, or if it's an animated thing, he voices Iron Man in some way, shape, or form. Now for topic 2. I think that the assumption is that it's 500 because that's what it probably cost them to make it. However, even though some people believe it, not every system is made out of loss. And, you know, you can make a system without a loss. For example, Nintendo made $40 on every Nintendo Wii that was sold. So, unlike a lot of other companies, they inherently made a profit without a game even being sold. Ironic, because the Nintendo Wii, the original one, came with games, you know? So, I think that 500 is where it's at, and what they're trying to do is to shave off a whole nother 100.
I dare somebody to look me in the eyes and tell me Wii Sports wasn't a game.
No, it's not that it wasn't a game. It was just that a lot of people didn't like to count it in sales records, and some people did. So it throws off the numbers because there's a camp that doesn't use Wii Sports data, and there's a camp that do because it's considered a product of the game system, not its own game by itself. So it is a game. It's just how it's viewed statistically is what, you know, gets to people sometimes. Personally, I kind of liked Wii Boxing. It was not mapped right in any way, shape, or form, but the shit was fun.
The bowling was my shit.
I felt like that tennis game was foreshadowing a Mario tennis game, but look how long that shit took. Anyways, so yeah, that's how I feel about that. And as far as topic 3, well, we've already had a confirmation Batman will not be involved with the Joker sequel. So I think the villain may be, I know someone already said it, but I have a slightly different approach to it. Police Officer Gordon, not Commissioner Gordon. That's what I think. Because first and foremost, he never starts at that position. Remember, the story of Gotham happens in a if you think about it, in a present tense when Batman shows up. So Batman isn't here. We're in the past. No police officer starts off as a commissioner. You are a police officer, at least to my knowledge, and through experience and recommendations, you eventually can get up to commissioner. So, if Batman has only known Commissioner Gordon as Commissioner Gordon, and Bruce Wayne is like about 4 to 6 years old in the movie, that means that we should be looking at Police Officer Gordon, who could be put on the case of this Joker person.
Oh, I said detective, not commissioner.
Okay, well, before that,
True. Yeah, I know.
I think detective
you're right.
technically isn't a promotion. It's just like a derivative. I'm not really sure. I know they're treated like their own branch or some shit, but police
Sorry to
officer.
interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Police officer Gordon could be trying to infiltrate the gang, but over some point in time, you know, he gets an interest or the Joker develops an interest in him. Then at some point he realizes, wait, you're not who you say you are. Even if I don't know you're a cop, I know you're not you. You're not a crazy person or blah, 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 blah. And then the final sequence of the movie is the Joker and Gordon trying to kill each other or something like that, you know? And then the Joker gets away. And that could introduce somebody else. Like, let's say Black Mask wants to profit from this, or the Red Hood and the Red Hood gang ends up being the first gang to show up in Gotham because of the Joker's creating destabilization. And then they could do it. They could do the Penguin if they want. It doesn't matter. Like, the Joker could be the floodgate that introduces the various villains. Because remember, Batman is only the president of Gotham. Everyone else, except for Kite Man, I believe, shows up and was already established and profiting before Bruce shows up as Batman.
Have you ever watched Gotham?
I actively fucking avoid it.
Sounds like Gotham, but like a better version of Gotham, where they
Well,
focus on like
that was kind of the
the Joker.
reason why I didn't want to watch, because I knew what Gotham was. It was a WB show that ended up on Fox, I believe. Still not sure how the fuck that happened. But I knew that they were also only going to do what they wanted to do and not care about anything in relation to pre-existing shit. Because that's one of the downsides, or the main problem with Hollywood when they try to utilize other characters or properties without respecting the characters and properties. Their first thought is, how can I make this version profitable for me? That's not how it works. It's the same reason the Power Rangers failed, even though kids loved it. Okay, well, first off, kids don't pay for movie tickets. Their parents do. So if their parents see they're trying to make a group of 5 dangerous teenagers with Iron Man armor, why they gonna give a fuck? They didn't even play up the fact that parents were actually in the movie. When have you ever seen a Power Rangers parent? I've seen Power Rangers grandparents before I've seen Power Ranger parents. Do you know when the first time I saw a parent was in the original Power Rangers generation? And I know y'all answer is gonna be no, but for the old fogies, wait, did they show up in that show? No. First time I saw them was 2014 or 15, whenever the Justice League and Power Ranger crossover book came out. You know why? Because they showed Zack's mom and dad being captured. That was it. No one else's parents. They don't want to modernize and to use the brevity of types of things that can happen in a movie. All they want to do is make profit for themselves. And that's not going to work when you're using other people's shit. Because it's basically like, oh, I'm gonna let Corey borrow my rarest, most expensive autographed, limited edition, limited print video game. And he says, thank you, I appreciate this, man. I'm gonna play this game to death. And then he hands it back to me at the agreed upon time, and the disc covered in shit and peanut butter. Like, you think I'm gonna fuck with you and let you use my shit again? Hell nah. I'm gonna go find some peanut butter and some shit, and I'm gonna bitch slap Corey with it as soon as I find a ladder too. Sonic was too easy. I was avoiding him on purpose. Also, if you're one of those people that ever borrows a video game, pines for a video game, loves it, and then when you give it back to somebody, you know you fucked it up and act like you don't, you deserve to play Byleth in Super Smash Brothers. You piece of shit scum. Yes, I'm still salty. Call me the Salt Dragon. I'll wake Tiki up with a bitch slap. Still mad. I would be less mad if Tiki was playable, because Tiki, besides not using a sword, is a fucking dragon that can transform into a human. Can you imagine the type of shit she could do? Charizard, but lighter. I'm down. I would still be mad though, but much, much less. Also, I like Tiki, and Tiki's voice is funny.
Technically, isn't Violet multi-tooled?
The fuck does that mean?
She can use a spear, a bow, an arrow.
In designated attacks, the base weapon is a sword. The sword is not the issue.
Oh wait, so okay,
Correction,
so
like-
she doesn't like equip the other weapon.
No.
It only is used in certain. Oh, okay.
Each
So it's
directional
actually
input is a
yeah,
different.
it's actually fucking worse. They could have did it like they did Shulk from Smash, and then Shulk could be kicked out the next game because Shulk ain't gonna do shit ever again, and fucking Byleth could be the one who has a weapon roulette shit. And for no reason at all.
I thought
hey,
Shulk was
what?
my bad. I thought Shulk was actually a top tier player in this.
No, I don't think he is, but that's not my point. My point is that characters need to be shuffled out based on, well, lack of identity and notoriety. I hate to say it, but that's how you make a fighting game easier to produce, quicker to come out, and thin the herd without getting in trouble. Look at what Tekken did. Tekken knows that they're going to hit 100 playable characters, possibly in the next 5 years. But what do they do with the games? They have a base game, and they have a base story, and they have base characters. Obviously, they'll have DLC characters. And some of them will be based on popular demand of old characters that have no relevance anymore to the story or where the theme of the game is going. But what happens in a few years, I think 5-6 years, they do a Tekken tag tournament or a Tekken party game where all the characters that have ever been playable are back and they're playable. Sakurai, this is a foreign concept to Sakurai. Because Sakurai, like many other old school Nintendo developers, they've only had hand slaps, not face slaps. And I know that sounds derogatory, but I don't mean it in that way. What I mean is that when they get in trouble or they screw something up, they're almost barely even notified about it. The only person that got hit hard by extreme failure was Gunpei Yokoi, a name who too many young bastards have forgot. Who here knows who Gunpei Yokoi is without saying what he did?
I believe I do.
Nope.
Okay. Corey, tell me who you think he is.
Isn't Gunpei Yokoi the guy who created the Game Boy?
Holy
The
shit.
guy-
That almost makes up for you not having seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons. Go watch that fucking movie. Yes, Gunpei Yokoi made the Wonder Swan, all the Game Boys, and he made the Virtual Boy. Now, guess which decision got him demoted?
Virtual Boy?
But no one else who approved it. Just him. Ironically, it indirectly led to his death. And before the rumors, try to spread again, no, he did not commit suicide. After his demotion, he felt like he could never, or they wouldn't let him go back up, or he could work his way back up. Even though, obviously, everything after the Virtual Boy was a smashing hit. So he went to another company, made the Wonder Swan, and on his way to work, he died in a car crash. A car crash that wouldn't have happened if he was going to work to Nintendo. Sad but true. Sad but true. So, anyways, fuck. I don't forget which topic I was on too. Damn. Was I on number 2? Or was I on number 3? Oh yeah, I was on number 2.
You were talking about Joker.
Oh, was I? Are you sure I didn't?
Yeah,
touch it?
I actually did.
Oh yeah.
You asked
Yeah. Sorry.
Gotham.
Yeah. Thank you so much. But yeah, the Gunpei situation hurts me a little bit because I didn't really grow up with Nintendo systems. I grew up with the Game Boy, then I got a 64, and then I didn't have shit on the GameCube, so I went back to Game Boy, and Game Boy kept improving and improving and improving, and I was content. But yeah. Commissioner Gordon, and I think they'll respect it more than Gotham ever will or could. Not to mention Gotham doesn't want to have a rated R rating. Last I heard, some other crazy shit like that. Anyways, topic 4. I got one male, one female. Jim fucking Carrey. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think Jim Carrey's underutilization is only strictly due to my phone is going off and I don't care. It's strictly due to just the fact that Jim Carrey changed his lifestyle or his psychological approach to society, which Hollywood didn't know how to interpret possibly. Or because of that, when he would receive roles, because remember, Jim Carrey never really had a dry spell on purpose. He chose to do less work. And they don't know how to approach him as an actor for roles. There's a few people like that where they're not good, they're not evil, but Hollywood just is like, how the fuck do I deal with you? Bill Murray being one of the biggest examples. I won't go too far into it, but Bill Murray doesn't even really have an agent. Bill Murray, for over a decade, just had a giant billboard or billboards where he had someone who goes through his phone to let him know about certain roles, and then he'll decide on a whim if he's gonna take it or not. So he's Hollywood, but he cares so very little, which, holy fuck. That man is epic. I'll give you a video I found on it, just trying to describe him. When he got into the Kick-Ass movie, where he hadn't been seen in a movie in almost, I want to say 7 years, he disowned his involvement with the movie, but yet I bet you he still didn't return that fucking money because he didn't like how violent it got. Let's recap. One of the last roles he did before his giant hiatus, he played a fucking serial killer that was obsessed with the number 23. By choice. Didn't have shit to say then. And fucking now, in more recent years, well, besides talking up peace and how Hollywood handles things and still showing up at parties and events and shit and growing out that crazy ass beard and basically looking like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo if he was 50. I feel like that's how Shaggy would look. Not insulting, but that's how I describe his appearance at the time. He's going on to star in possibly one of the most cinematically interesting dramedies I've seen in a long time called Kidding. I believe Showtime has it, where he plays a child star, a child television show star, fucking coming to terms with the fact that he's being turned into a franchised object and he doesn't like it. But also because he holds back his rage because his character is his actual personality, he has fits of time where he snaps so hard he can destroy everything in the room except his child. He's even helping pay for college tuition of the child of the man who accidentally murdered his own son, and he's got two and he's a twin, so it hurts him that much more. So it's just good to watch. Like, no matter how good he is, nothing bad happens to him. And I'm not gonna lie, if I could show it to you guys, I think the first episode is free on YouTube. I think you get into it too, not just because, yeah, you get to see another side of Jim Carrey, but because you didn't know how deep his dramatic abilities were. Female, Catherine Dennings, who I will, from this point forward, refer to as Beloved. Now, see, Beloved got stuck in comedy or sitcoms for the beginning, or at least, the formative years of her career. She was on a failed Bob Saget comedy where she played one of his kids, so it wasn't Full House. And, well, she occasionally appeared in small roles or semi-important roles in Hollywood movies. In fact, she really came into consciousness when people found out that during that movie with Michael Cera, where he's in a band and he loses his virginity to Beloved, people learned that, oh, they're dating now. And after that, not too long after, she basically went into the show that she's most known for, which is Two Broke Girls, which was extremely risque or considered risque at the time because it was a sitcom actually making modernized jokes, not just doing crotch humor, which is the common perception, but it was doing modernized jokes. Her character was basically an ex-drug addict and slut. But unlike any ex-drug addict / slut I've ever met, she brings up shit she used to do in public, out loud, at random every episode, and occasionally acknowledging her giant tits. However, her ability to sell that character, even though it's a sitcom where you sometimes that's not what you're there to do, you're made to make someone laugh. Her ability to sell the character actually kind of sort of worked. I wasn't the biggest fan of that character, but if you notice, the more time passes in the show, the more that character is able to get involved with situations where you could see growth, or you could see her knowing that I shouldn't go down a road that's this bad, plus her friends are obviously and occasionally helping her out. So, I feel how I feel about that. But also, Beloved was in Thor, and the more Thor movies pass, the less important she is, even though her star continues to grow. Don't get me wrong. When you're a human in these shows, you already know you're going to show up for 5 to 10 minutes, or you're going to be in a sequence where you need to be saved or help the hero out at the last minute. And there's nothing wrong with that. They can't do it alone. They weren't born how they were. They had to be trained, taught, and there needs to be a support system. It's even like that in the comics. Yeah, the superheroes do shit, but it's never been a situation where the superheroes didn't acknowledge or have to deal with everyday civilians, whether it's a police officer, the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. who are in fact normal people, or supernatural situations where a ghost or a mythical alien being from another dimension helps them out for a spell and then craps out and disappears after the story's over. That's just how it is. Some of the characters who do super shit aren't even super. Black Widow is a superhero in the most loosest term. She's an assassin. And she's an assassin who quite literally just got converted into being a good person. She's been genetically modified, but she's not a mutant. What do you call that? Sound like Batman to me, but Batman's not genetically modified technically. So, excuse me. The way I view it, Beloved doesn't get enough. Now, she's supposed to appear in the Wandavision show as a supporting character, but to my knowledge, her role and what her role is going to be about hasn't been disclosed. We know that she was a student researcher, and that was the last we heard about her as of Thor 2, because she's in the first 5 minutes and then is never heard from again. Even though her and Thor could have some comedic symmetry, like her teaching Thor how to do normal human shit, stuff like that. So anyways, she just recently got into a show that's been critically acclaimed on Hulu called Dollface. It's a comedy, but it's more of a supernatural or surreal tone to it. The characters are real, but much like in Community, minus the background track, the background music track to lighten the mood. It centers around her coping with trying to function after a breakup that she didn't see coming, and how all of her old friends are easily telling her, like, you don't realize how abused you were or underutilized in that relationship, and that even if you don't think you're better off without him, you need to learn how to for lack of a better term, have some type of mental and social stability now that you're out of relationship. But out of nowhere, she'll randomly have conversations with a crazy cat lady trying to predict her future and make it terrible. And that's just the first episode. She literally meets a crazy cat lady who's driving the bus that drops her off at a bus station where her friends are supposed to pick her up, metaphorically speaking, after a breakup, and only to find out, oh wait, you have no friends anymore. You haven't seen your friends in 5 years, don't even call them. But none of it is real. But she experiences it, and we get to watch it as the audience nonetheless. just got confirmed for a season 2 by Hulu. Go watch it. It'll make you fall in love with Beloved again. But you can't have her, because if I can't have her, none of you mugs can. So there, yeah, those are my 2. Now, topic 5. Okay, so first and foremost, my opinion is a little bit different. E3's biggest problem is its own head being in its ass. We have been made well aware of this for a long period of time. Here's my main thing though. The case of Sony is different. I think Sony, last year, they didn't have anything to show because they were deep in the PS5 development. So they couldn't warrant those expenses. However, this year, I think the problem was E3 as an entity pissing off Sony. But that being said, Sony does have a long outstanding streak, as Matt, who couldn't be here, mentioned earlier, of trying to play the game of, no, we don't want to share shit. Fuck y'all. Which you really can't do in this day and age when everybody's trying to compete with everybody. So I think the problem is the same one that was with Fortnite. Sony don't want to do the right thing because it doesn't benefit them exclusively. It benefits them and someone who's not them, no matter how trivial that is. Even though Sony doesn't exclusively make their own shit and hoard it to themselves. Last I checked, CES, they showed off a car that's never going to exist based on parts that they develop for other people. But you have a problem with cross promotion in a video game that is inherently multiplayer. Let's just think about that real quick. You'll make things for other people, but no one can work and play games with your system. Fortnite got in because the overwhelming harassment that Sony received. They made up some bullshit about, well, we can't guarantee based on what our ESRB standards is. And that was their excuse as far back as the middle 2000s when cross-platforming was basically brand new. And now it's standard and they said, nah, fuck that shit. But Fortnite is allowed. Nah. Fortnite is not allowed. Fortnite is the exception because they learned how bad they would be harassed. That's it. Because
What
they
about
don't.
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty's cross-platform too?
Yeah.
Again, harassment. And also, they didn't realize, or maybe they didn't think, Call of Duty and Fortnite were, well, everyone knows Call of Duty system seller. They didn't think Fortnite and Call of Duty could be a system seller or make them an immense profit. Because think about it. Microsoft always tries to grab a Call of Duty game. They always try to get an exclusive. But if someone going into the next generation is completely intoxicated in the ADD, messed up gambling nature, thinks the video game industry can do no wrong, and they see Call of Duty an exclusive for any amount of time on Microsoft, who they gonna fuck with? Microsoft. And I don't know why they acting like they don't know about this shit. Because first off, did they not grab Sony by themselves? They have, I mean not Sony, Final Fantasy VII Remake for themselves. They got Final Fantasy VII Remake as an exclusive for 12 months. So they know the power of an exclusive. Especially
They have for certain, I don't remember which games exactly, but like for Modern Warfare specifically, just as an example, they get spec ops and certain stuff earlier than Xbox.
Exactly. So it's not like they don't understand the power of it. I think Sony doesn't realize how selfish they are. There's a difference between greed and selfishness. Greed is wanting to have all of or be the majority owner of something. Selfishness is self-obsession. It's wanting to only improve or deal with primarily yourself. Greed ain't the factor here. It's selfishness. They don't understand that when they look selfish, people don't want to give them their money. Or at least they're learning it the hard way. And they're trying to pretend that they haven't learned it. So, yeah. I think that E3 isn't dead, but what's the problem is that their management is fuck ups. Because I've always said this for a billion years when it comes to the video game industry. The video game industry needs the perfect blend of people who know how to run and can organize a business and people who enjoy playing and making video games. And when you have those factors off balance, it's never good. That's why, despite how I feel about Xbone, I'm not going to lie, Phil Spencer does a primarily good job with running the Xbox branch of Microsoft. Nintendo fuck their shit up all the time in some way, shape, or form and then act like they don't, or think that what they think matters is the same as the developers. Let's just go back a couple systems. 64, what did they learn? Not to overcomplicate things, and just because your system is the most powerful does not mean that you can get developers. You need good games. But they kind of knew that one part. That's why the 64 did well, even though the PlayStation killed it. When they got to the next generation, GameCube was the most powerful system until the Xbox came out. They couldn't hold a fucking candle to the PlayStation 2 because the PlayStation 2 had every format of game, whereas the GameCube only had a set type of games popularized, and on top of it, Nintendo would rather pay people to put their types of games on their system than learn to make it their damn selves. Fucking dumb. You get to the Wii. It's like they went backwards in time. They did simplify and streamline a lot of things, but then they didn't want to modernize and keep up with not their competitors, but the clients, the consumers. Online play was cheap. Dreamcast started it, so Nintendo had a leg up knowing that this was going to happen, and they still fucked it up. The PS2 went back before the PS3 came out and had online functionality. They literally installed it with a giant fucking socket. Then it became an Ethernet port once, technology got cheaper and more efficient. What did the Wii do? Barely anything. The whole point of going online in their mind was to buy their products online. Then almost nobody could make a true profit off of putting their games up on Nintendo's online store because they wanted more money than Sony did on their online store when the PS3 happened. So people who bought the Wii primarily stopped using it or got rid of it for a PlayStation 3 in droves. It became the system that was designated for small children or new gamers who aren't going to put a lot of effort into their hobby. And they keep saying that they didn't want that. They didn't want that to happen. They just wanted everyone to play games. But did you? They could have made an upgraded Super Wii 2 years into the system's life cycle that did half of what everyone else was doing. The Wii didn't even have an HDMI port. And by that point in time, HDMI was about 5 or 6 years old. We weren't going back to AV. We created a new standard and they didn't want to touch it. And that's the whole history, just going from the GameCube all the way up to before the Switch. A new standard would happen. They didn't want to fuck with it. They wanted to live in Nintendo world. There are people who have left Nintendo from East and West that have said the problem is that when we tell them they don't have it, they do a Japanese phenomenon that is so prevalent, even Wikipedia has it, called not made here. I don't know the Japanese words for it, but it translates to not made here, where they decide or think because something is not made or known about among the Japanese developers or in a Japanese country that you can't go and fucking learn how to do it. Have you lost your natural fucking mind? Hey, Holland, if you didn't have a pair of shoes in your house, but you need to go outside, would you just go outside all the time and just not buy shoes? Hello?
You said what?
I said, let me ask you something. If you know you needed shoes, but there were no shoes in your house, would you just decide no shoes in my house and then just go outside and not buy shoes and never wear shoes and shit?
Nah.
because it's fucking stupid.
Facts.
Now imagine having Nintendo as a company and literally not listening to your own consumers and modernization trends, not future technological breakthroughs, modern technological standards and trends, like going from gas to electric, you know, regular light bulbs to LEDs, shit like that. Now imagine a whole gaming company run by that mindset, letting their developers get away with saying dumb shit. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. I'm not even going to get into how many times we've had a Nintendo developer fuck up everything on a game that was perfectly fine and come in and change shit because they feel like something needs to be, you know, dumbed down, which happens all the time. We've talked about it at length multiple times. Usually, not Shigeru Miyamoto. Yeah, the dude who made Mario, Shigeru Miyamoto, is usually the primary culprit. But it only got like that because the company didn't fucking stop him. He literally doesn't understand the concept of RPGs. And every time there's a Mario RPG, they give him authority over it. Do you not understand he's not qualified? But no, he made Mario, so hey, he must know what he's doing. You mean like with Star Fox Zero? Yeah, I'm gonna keep bringing that up. Anyways, the biggest issue, to circle back, the biggest fucking issue is just that E3's problem is they don't have that balance of creatives and management sense. And Sony's problem is they want to be selfish and then act like they're not selfish and think that there won't be any repercussions. Because having a council lead doesn't mean that you can maintain it. Sony should know that better than anybody. The only reason the 360 could creep up on the PS3 is because the PS3 came out and was garbage. For like close to almost 2 years. Good games were few and far between. The games cost $20 or even $10 more than the games that came out on the previous generation. And on top of it, longevity was 50-50 because a lot of these games wouldn't tell you how long they were, and most games don't. So if you play a hyped up $60 game that everyone and their mom's gonna get, and you beat it by the time you drive home and get it in your system, no replayability, no extra content, yeah, I'd be a little pissed too. So yeah, that's how I feel. That being said, anything else you guys want to bring up that happened?
Okay. I wanted somebody else in Smash. That's all I want to say.
I'm so glad you said that. I am so very, very glad you said that. Now, this other person or persons you may have wanted in Smash, does one of them, for example, will say, wear a red trench coat?
Yep. Yes, he does.
Well, that's fascinating. See, I happen to have and known that snitches have been saying for a very long time that someone with a red trench coat is in Smash Brothers. Now, let me ask you something else. Does he use half the amount of handguns as Bayonetta?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does.
Damn. Does his name start with a D?
Yes, in fact it does.
Fuck, I wonder if it's Dante from Devil May Cry. The good one, not the shitty one.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh shit, man! It's almost as if Sakurai pushed back when this motherfucker shows up because he thinks that snitches, and I do mean it, he thinks that snitches and caring about them snitching should prevent everyone else from things they would like. I would just like to point out that the Smash Brothers video at the time of this recording is the only heavily disliked, aka hated, Smash Brothers introduction trailer for a character, possibly in history. It has, at this time, and it's only been out for 24 hours, 66,000 dislikes. 66,000. That's a record for Smash
You know
Brothers.
what that sounds like?
What?
You remember the Friday song? It's Friday. That's what that sounds like.
I'm so glad I have never seen that video and heard that song, because everyone I hear about it just tells me how much they fucking hate it. And then somehow she got famous, but it didn't really last. Also, she has extreme levels of ADHD to the point where she went to school, supposedly. Her friend showed up and gave her a ride and forgot to go to school. Not chose to skip, forgot to go to school. I feel like, fuck, I can barely remember her name. Michael Black? Shit, what was her name? Michelle
Rebecca Black or some shit
Rebecca,
like that?
yeah. Not black person, black last name, white person. Whoever she is. I feel like she could never maintain her celebrity status just based on the fact that it was predicated on so little. And she didn't know how to grow herself.
She actually has a song called Saturday. It's just like not as bad as Friday. It's actually all right. It's all right.
Listen to me. When I type
If
in
Friday
Friday on YouTube, I'm looking for Ludacris. That's all I'm going to say.
You funny.
I'm accurate.
Facts.
Haters get sprayed like Afro shit. That line is just still so fucking just that one sentence alone, because people don't realize that Saturday as a song is really, really upbeat. You know, it's got a smooth beat to it. Yes, it's about smoking weed and having fun on the weekend, but that one line is literally about killing people with machine guns. But no one cared. No one cared because the song was that good. If you can do that, you have succeeded as a musician. Haters get sprayed like Afro Sheen, but they don't ever really want to pop them things. Pop is bang. Bang is another way, or an onomatopoeia commonly associated with describing the sounds guns make when they fire. Them things is just code for guns in general. So he's saying haters get shot with anything that's rapid fire, but I know they don't really want to have a gunfight. But no one noticed it. You know why? Because it's that damn good. Also, it doesn't really matter. Half of DMX's songs that made people hype was about ass whoopings and somebody getting murdered or fucked up. I ain't give a shit. It's music. Your job is to enjoy the song and the things that accompany the song, like the music video or, you know, the lyrics. But, you know, because black people said it, there's a problem. I've yet to see a white person who directed a horror movie get shit talked in media. Has anyone ever seen that?
I mean, literally, Annie Up was about to rob people, but it was a good song.
Dude, I think I told you the secret origin story of the Touch It, Bring It remix that Busta Rhymes did, because you can make a documentary damn near about that song. There's like 5 versions of it, and the main reason that there's 5 versions of it is DMX. Because DMX found the line between insulting people by calling them homosexuals versus insulting homosexuals and claiming you want to murder them. It was fucked up. It was weird. Like, I didn't realize it as a kid, but that's because there were so many versions of that song. Yeah, we won't cover that here because this ain't PG-13, but there's a line I don't cross, but it's an interesting story. So, Corey, you got anything you want to bullshit about, or are you going to take a nap again?
I got some stuff to get done, so I'm... no.
Okay. Well, with that being said, this has been another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. Don't worry, we're going to try to make sure we get this one up on the SoundCloud because all the things are in order. So I will see you guys when I see you guys.
Peace.
Totally thought you was going to say Henshin a go-go.
Hidden shit. Nah, just kidding.
You too straight to be a cock tease.